Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Stumbling Towards Success, where I take you through my journey of learning how to harness entrepreneurial energy for growth and self-leadership. Today, I want to talk about client databases. And I specifically want to go over how this is something that every entrepreneurial every entrepreneurial every entrepreneur needs at the beginning of their journey of building their business. And a lot of us don't even realize we need it. And even if we realize we need it, we don't know why. And it just feels like extra work. So I want to go over three things: what it is, what a client database is, why we need it, and how to build it. And I'm just going to keep this very brief, so it's not going to be completely detailed, but it's just kind of like an intro to it. So, what exactly a client database is that it's a set of information of all your clients and detailed information about your clients. So it doesn't matter if you sell products, if you sell a coaching session or coaching group coaching. It doesn't matter if you have a service that you deliver one on one. So it can be for individuals who are buying something from you. It can also be for child care, pet care, even the medical industry uses it. So I think about like when you go to the doctor's office, you go in there, and every time you go in, you have to fill out an intake form. You have to fill out a form about why you're there and your medical background and all that. So that's basically for them to put in their client database. And there's fancy words for it. There's the CRM, which I don't even know what that stands for. I should have looked it up before I came on this video, but I didn't. So I'm just going to guess client response management. I'm not really sure. But a CRM is a term that is thrown around in the business world, and that is basically a client database. And you don't have to have a fancy software though immediately to capture your client database. You can actually do it in an Excel spreadsheet or even a Google sheet. So it's basically a set of information about your clients, and if you and usually you're intaking like their first name, last name, their contact information, such as their phone number and email address. And as well as, especially if you're servicing their children or their pets, then you want to capture a little bit of the information about them. And you can think this can get very complicated for each parent, whether it's for pets or children. For each parent, they may have multiple children, they may have multiple pets. So it can get kind of hard, kind of complicated to organize all of that. And that's where it becomes a database where you can just kind of organize it a little bit better. And so that's basically what a client database is. And I want to say that this can be very intimidating for people who don't have a background in databases. I personally have a background in databases. I used to maintain databases for government agencies before I started my business. And even with that background, I'm very intimidated. At least earlier this week, and I have been for the past few years, I've been very intimidated to even just take on this task. And a part of that reason is because I just didn't understand why. Why am I doing this? What am I going to do in the end? What am I going to do with this information? And so I actually started collecting this information, and then I stopped and didn't do it for years. So I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt here now because I stopped. But whatever, that's a part of my learning journey. That's okay. I'm still committed to doing this for my business and for myself. So that's basically what it is. I want to say that the caveat is that you're not going to fully know what information to capture from your clients when you first start out. You're not going to know. Like, I didn't realize that I was supposed to capture their phone number. It's like I don't really feel comfortable calling people for my services, so I threw that out the window. But now that I'm looking back, I'm thinking I should probably capture their phone number. I should probably capture all of their, like, for instance, if you're working with children or pets, um, you should probably capture, if you can, all of their pets or their children's names, because you want to reach out. You want to know if they have more of those potential clients, that could, or those more people you can serve within their family, basically. So, my what I want to say is that if you don't know immediately all the information that you need, if you don't know, it's okay. Um, Even though it may cause frustration in the future, it's normal to start your business and not know it and add it later. So I just want to say that a lot of people go through that, and that's exactly what I'm going through right now. And it's normal. It's perfectly normal. And the reason why is because even a business coach may not sit down with you and tell you everything that you need to capture, um, unless you're paying them a lot of money, because a business coach usually focuses on certain areas, and there's so many areas to cover um, with it when you're building a business. So to have them help you with that little detail of information, you may not be able to have them help you because you may not be able to afford their time for them to help you. So that's why I'm going over this. I think this is very common. A lot of people probably face this when they're first starting their business, and that's why I want to share this with you. So that's what it is. The other thing I want to say, and I don't remember if I mentioned that you can do this in an Excel or Google Sheet. Um, and if you're not familiar with how to use that, have Chat GPT or AI help you with that. Um, so there's that. The second thing I want to cover is why we need it. This is very important. You're going to put a lot of energy into this. So I believe it's important to understand why we're going to need this. Otherwise, it's going to feel like we're doing it for nothing, because you're not going to get an immediate return of money for doing it necessarily. The reason why we need it, though, is to stay connected with them. So anyone that has purchased your service, we want to stay connected with them. And I like the way my coach told me. He had told me that it is your responsibility as a service provider. It's your responsibility to stay connected with them and to continue nurturing that relationship and building that relationship with them. And for me, I got disconnected with all my clients because I didn't reach out to them. In fact, it's been 2 years that I haven't reached out to some of them, but I'm reconnecting with them now. And I will say it feels amazing. It feels really good. It feels like I'm taking control of my business. Now, how to connect with them is a little bit different if you don't know how to make connections, which I actually didn't. That's a different video. I might make a video later on how to stay connected with your clients. But what I want to say about connecting with them and how it's our responsibility, you're actually doing a disservice. I now realize that we are doing a disservice to our clients when we're not telling them and educating them. We're not teaching them how our services help them and in what different situations they can help them with. So you want to continuously provide them with a little bit of education on how to do this, and that's what email campaigns. I'm sorry, a little bit of education on how to use your services and why, in what situations they're needed for, and how they can help. That is what email campaigns are for. But you want to start collecting this information and reaching out to them maybe even before you start your email campaigns. Um, In fact, I haven't even gotten in the habit of starting my email campaign yet. And that's why it's really important to stay connected and learn how to stay connected. So that's why we need it. Now, I want to get to the third point, and that's how. How do we do how do we do this? So as I mentioned, as far as when you're servicing your client, you want to have you want to have a system down that has an intake form, like I mentioned that the doctor's office does. So if you're servicing them, like in coaching or pet service or care child service, you want to have an intake form and gather all their information for them to list all of their children, their pets, depending on the service that you're providing. And if it's just a product that you're selling, then you want to capture basic information in that area as well. You may want to capture obviously their first name, their last name, their contact information, and maybe document what they purchased from you. I'm actually not really sure about that because I don't sell inventory. That's something that you're going to have to learn along the way what you need. Um, but that's how is that you create systems. You create systems such as an intake form and get in the habit of handing it to them, or maybe get in the habit of asking them the questions before you service them. It just depends on what works best for you. For me, an intake form is exactly what I use at events in person. It's what I started using, and then even online, when someone comes to book with me, I send them to Calendly, and I have a little bit of information there, and then in the session, I ask them the rest of the questions. And then it's up to us to stay in the habit of dedicating a little bit of time each week to put that information and enter it into the database. And I would say at the beginning, you want to keep it as simple as possible. And as I said, have chat help you. Have the information that you're capturing as simple as possible, um, maybe as little as possible. And then as the years go, you're going to learn what you need to add and what you can take out. You're not going to know right away. And that may cause frustration for you later, that you regret not adding something like it is for me. I regret that I didn't take down certain information, but you kind of have to let that go and just take it as a learning curve and just keep moving and make that change um, for the future. And so, building these systems that make our lives easier, make this transition, this process a lot easier, is what is going to make your business efficient, and it's going to make your life so much easier to run a business. So I think that's all I want to mention. I guess the last thing I want to mention is that what I'm learning is that being an entrepreneur, again, it's about nurturing. I may have mentioned this in this video, I'm not sure, but entrepreneurship is about nurturing what you're growing. So whether you're nurturing the courses that you're making, or you're nurturing the the product that you're selling, or the relationship with your client, you're learning to nurture. And a part of that is education. So you want to educate them. And then the last thing I want to say is that you want to get in the habit. This is like the best advice I have gotten this week, and actually in a while. Get in the habit of contacting two people a day, maybe during the weekdays. Get in the habit of contacting 2 to 3 people a day, whether it's a text or an email, and just saying, hey, how's it going? This can be your clients. For me, it's my clients. It could also be your friends, just to stay in the habit if you haven't developed your client base yet. Get in that habit, because eventually that's basically that's going to give you the foundation of learning to connect. And eventually you're going to throw an offer in there. This isn't something that you want to do every day of your life because this will drain you. But this is something that we can do at certain periods to reach out to people. We want to learn to do that and practice that every day, because in certain periods of the year, such as like holiday sales, we're going to want to do that manually. So that will take more time. But now, today, just get in the habit of reaching 2 to 3 people a day and start connecting with them and start building your system in capturing all that data, a little bit of data that you need to stay connected with your clients. So that's all I'm going to say today. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Hope you're doing well, and I will see you in the near future. Bye bye.